All right, guys, listen, now here's the deal. I am with Sep Stoner from High Cotton Restaurant down here in beautiful Charleston. And I called Sep the other day and I said, listen, I want to teach guys how to get themselves out of the doghouse. All right, so here's the deal. You're at work and you're on your way home and you realize, oh my gosh, today's my anniversary, or it's my wife's birthday, or my girlfriend's mad at me, or whatever the case is, right? And we're gonna get you out of the doghouse by teaching you how to do an awesome, delicious, romantic meal that it's gotta be simple.
It's gotta be quick, easy answer.
Yeah, and I notice you don't have a whole lot of creams or butters. It's very light. You got olive oil.
Well, you know, with the seasons like that, being here in Charleston, it doesn't get too cold too often, so you can always stay, eat dinners that are light without having to feel so heavy.
Great.
So it's gonna be just, basic pan-seared fish with a nice cold fresh salad, and we're gonna dress it with a little balsamic vinegar.
All right, so what's the first thing, we got everything out here, right? I guess we can kind of go through the ingredients as we go, but what's the very first thing we're gonna do? Cook the fish, because it takes the longest?
Well, no, not necessarily. You want to try and get some of your knife work done.
Okay.
So, like what we kind of did here, I just kind of basically took your, tomatoes. Make sure you definitely want to wash everything as well, because people definitely touch it.
Especially your hands, guys.
So wash your hands. Make sure everything looks fresh, looks good, smells good.
Yep.
And you can easily just keep the tomato side up, away from you.
Yep.
You want to make sure your hands are tucked in so you don't cut anything off.
Right.
Nice, just thin slices, right down. I usually do mine right down the middle, half it. Quarter it, and then even go into eighths again. Just little
pizza slices.
Little pizza slices, little triangles right there, and those will look great in salad. That way you have a little shape in there.
Okay.
And that's basically how to keep our tomatoes.
All right, we got cukes.
Some cucumbers, I just basically took them, split them right down the middle, and I'm gonna do like half moons.
Right.
You can either leave the skin on or skin off. Just peel it. I like to keep the skin on. It's nice and crunchy that way.
Color too.
I think it's
dark green.
great. Tastes great in there with it.
Yeah.
See, we have our goat cheese. We're going to easily leave that just like that. We're going to crumble that on kind of at the very end. Our shallot, good to have some kind of onion in there. Shallots are sweeter, smaller, so I like using them for salads, especially also with your red onion versus just a white. And I basically just cut some lines down the middle, and I just want to have some nice shapes in there, so I'm just cutting nice.
So basically, we cut this way first.
Correct.
So like this.
So that way we can pretty much cut a little.
Show me lengthwise, just so I can.
Lengthwise, we just cut nice little lines right down there.
And then when you cut it this way, you get little like cubes.
Right. Correct.
Your ladies are going to be impressed that you've got you got shallots.
Took a few extra seconds and put some knife work into it. It looks good in your presentation.
Even if you screw it up, you got shallots.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's going to be our shallot that we're going to keep in there.
Got it.
So basically, when your knife work is done, that's just like the
bulk
of the work right there.
Great.
The dressing that we're going to do it with is usually people keep around the house is like your regular house balsamic vinegar. It's great to have. They're not too expensive, and then maybe your olive oil as well.
Okay.
And what you do is to that is you're going to want to do a portion of 3 to 1.
Okay.
So you don't want to do it in cups because that's going to make a ton of
dressing. So what's three of what?
Maybe tablespoons.
Right.
So tablespoons.
3 of balsamic, 1 of oil.
Oil, correct.
Okay, so it's less oil. Got that? 3 of the vinegar, 1 of the oil.
And if you have too much oil, that means it's going to be an oily
dressing.
So that's how
keep it nice and light.
Nice and light, correct. And I put in a little bit of Dijon for an emulsion. And emulsion is when all the particles and the dressings come together.
And I noticed you just put it in this little container like this. You can even do this in the morning before you leave for work and just have it ready to go.
It'll sit in the fridge, it holds fine.
And then I guess
just give it a little shake, and then it just all binds together. And there's your dressing.
Dude,
it's a balsamic.
If you can't do this, can't help it.
It's quite easy, quite easy.
Okay.
So then we'll move on to we're getting our pan heated up.
All right. So you already started to heat that up.
Started to heat that up. Vegetables are got everything washed and stuff, and we have our halibut fillet. We definitely want to make sure we season it correctly as well, because seasoning is quite necessary. I usually go with the cracked black pepper versus just the shaker.
Yeah, I agree.
For 2 things. 1, I like to see that it's seasoned, and 2, I can control how much seasoning I'm putting down. The same thing with the salt. You don't ever want to really pour it out of the container.
So put it on your hand first.
Put it on your hand first, and then you can kind of see how much you want on there, because everybody's their own judge of how much salt or pepper that they like to have on anything. So there, I can see my seasoning. It looks good. Maybe a little more pepper right here.
Yeah, don't want to miss a spot.
Don't want to miss a spot at all.
All right.
So I'm gonna bring this right over here.
Now this is a non-stick pan.
This is a non-stick pan. You want to make sure you do get it to a good heat consistency, because if it's cold, that fish is cold, it's going to cause the fish to stick to the pan, and it's going to rip.
Remember when you stuck your tongue to that basketball pole in the
Absolutely.
winter? Same thing. This is like your tongue, and that's the basketball pole. You want them both. You want it hot.
You want it nice and warm. You get that nice and warm, and oil as well. You want to add when the pan is warm.
Okay.
It definitely helps with your cooking process. Just a little bit of canola house oil that you have hanging around the house.
Right.
Yeah, it's usually just your regular vegetable oil, anything like that. You can let that sit in there and
Nice.
roll it around. Bottom of the pan coated, so you don't have any.
Even coat, yep.
Correct. Just let that hang out for a minute. And the great thing about halibut is it has such a wide margin for cooking. It's a white, flaky fish.
Right.
And when you're cooking it, you can go and do and hang out and whatever you want to do and stuff like that for a while, and it's not going to overcook.
Got it. That's important for us. Because, you know, something happens, guy hits a home run or something, we get distracted.
Yeah, buddy comes over, you want to drink a beer or
over.
something? Absolutely. And it's great when you hear that sizzling sound. It means that it's going to have a nice caramelization, nice crust that's going to start to build on that pan. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to season the other side as well.
Both sides. Both sides. Don't get lazy.
Have a little seasoning on it, but not too much. You don't want it overpowered.
All right.
Cool. Just let that go for a little
Now, do we cover this? No.
Nope, you don't have to cover it, and it's great. You're going to let that go, and a way to know that it's going to cook properly is you want to give it a little shake, and if you see it loosening, it means that the pan was hot enough, and it's not going to stick, so that flesh is not going to rip away. So you give it a little shake, and you see it moves, it's going to cook nicely.
Can we flip that over?
At the very end, you're going to let it stay on this one side,
Okay.
and just cook through, and it's going to get a nice crust on it. You want that flaky, nice
About how long are we going to let that sit there?
You're probably going to let that sit there for maybe 6 minutes, until you're going to see a nice light brown golden crust start.
And then how long on the other side?
Just maybe a minute. You're just going to be able to basically cook through on one side. You don't even have to flip it. There's not a lot of turning.
So here's what we're going to do then. We're going to come back in 6 minutes. We're going to watch Seth flip this, and then he's going to plate it up and throw that salad together, and then you guys are on your own. So we'll be back in 6. Okay, gang, so we're back. It's been on about 6 minutes. That means you should have opened up a bottle of wine. You got your music going. You got your groove on, right? Flowers, if you forgot them. I don't know. Go pick something out in the yard. But we're going to flip this, right? So
We are. We're just going to take a nice spatula, get it right under there,
Yep.
and just give it a nice little flip. Sitting in the pan. It's got a little brownness on there, and it's a little golden. And usually what they say is if you have color is flavor. So you definitely have no problem. Even that can even be gone just a little bit longer, get a little bit more golden brown, and that's where you want it.
All right, so now while that's on this side, you're going to plate up the salad.
Yeah, quickly you're going to plate that up. You could even turn the stove off if you wanted to.
Now, I noticed even though this is already washed, you put it in a colander and you ran it through cold water.
Correct. Just to make sure it's fresh, and the leaves are nice and takes a few last things off. So we're going to plate this salad up, and make sure you have nice portions, and all the vegetables we cut, we're just going to kind of garnish. But before that, we're actually going to season some of the leaves as well. Not a lot of pepper, but this will also help the leaves taste great too.
Just learn something.
You just want to make sure you season it because your final product will have the flavor that you want to. So put some of the tomatoes on there. Sprinkle a little bit of shallots. A few of the cucumbers.
Wow, how perfect is this? Your fiance just walked in. This proves my point, you see? He wasn't even expecting that.
We're going to put a little goat cheese on here.
Yeah. Little goat cheese. You're going to have a nice lunch. I hope you didn't eat.
And that time, this fish back here should be ready to roll. That's awesome.
Now how about the dressing? Put that on top?
The dressing, we're going to put that on top after the fish is already plated and looks good. And you want to be careful about the dressing because it can be a little powder, so just use a little bit as it goes.
Maybe your lady wants to put it on herself. Something to think about.
Something on the side.
You know how they do at the restaurants? Can you put it on the side? True.
We're just going to easily bring the fish right over.
Wow, that's awesome,
Put that
man.
right on top there,
Dude.
like so.
That's great.
And
Yeah,
then
just put that dressing on so see what it looks like.
we can
Give
put
it a
some
little drip.
dressing on, shake it up again once again to bring it all together. Have a nice spoon on the side. And just give it a nice dress.
That's all. Oh, dude.
Good?
Can I be your girlfriend?
Come on.
For real. Forget Bridget. I'm your girl. Awesome.
That's great.